Welcome back, you guys, to the back nine of the New World Championship. This is the round one MPO lead card coverage, featuring a pretty sweet card, and it's been a wild ride here on the front nine. And I'm joined, Connor O'Reilly, joined by my teammate Kevin Kiefer, and excited to be here with you, Kevin.
Yep, happy to be here. Welcome back to the back nine, and yeah, we have a stellar card here. We've got Paul McBeth, JohnE McCray, Gavin Rathbun, and Luke Samson.
Yeah, we got a good mix of styles, a bunch of different ways to putt the disc and ways to attack off the tee. You see Luke, big user of that chalk out there, and I can relate to that for sure. Gavin's had some ups and downs, and we're looking for him to kind of smooth it out on the back nine.
Through the first 9 holes, we have the Robinson brothers tied for first at -6, which is a fire start. 6 down through the first 9 holes without getting into too much trouble is how you want to go. Hole 10, par 4, 780 feet. There's an OB creek here, and the goal is to push it past that as far as you can to make this relatively easy. The difficulty really comes into the wind. If there's a headwind, this hole is much more difficult because you have to play with that OB. On the right here, we also have OB, so you kind of want to hold it off to the left. We have an OB green coming into the basket here, and yeah, just depending on the wind here, depends really on the difficulty. We have Luke Samson up first, going with this Halo Destroyer, it looks like.
Yeah, today we had a nice tailwind setup, so a lot of players looking to just hammer something flat and it about as hard as they can.
Yeah, to clear this. Yeah, this is perfect.
Yeah, he's going to have probably 300 or less into the pin from there.
Really no worries with that OB with these top throwers. Gavin also no slouch on distance. 71 miles an hour, just ripping over on an orbit drive here.
Yeah, Gavin puts it high on some hyzer, but it pops up nicely out of his hand, and he's hanging out in a similar distance with Luke there. They're going to be able to pick their angle into the green, and as long as they manage that little bit of slope in front of the basket, they're going to be just fine.
Paul up next. Flipping something up.
Paul not playing quite as fast. We've seen a couple throws from him here, knowing that he doesn't want to bait himself into playing too aggressive. He's kind of done that on a few holes on the front nine and realizes that if he just plays his smooth game, he's going to give himself opportunities to birdie. JohnE's going to be just a touch short of these guys and tucked off
to the
left.
Yeah, not terrible. JohnE going orbit drive as well off the tee. They'll have a hyzer into the green. Distance here isn't really a difficulty for these guys. Now it's just all about speed control and angle control coming into this.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily matter where you are on this fairway. As long as you're in bounds, you kind of are going to throw a right-hand backhand into this green for almost any player unless you throw only forehand. But yeah, Gavin looks like he paced this one nicely, and a little bit of hard pack ground there. He's going to have to knock that putt down, but that one can get his back nine going real good here.
Paul up next. About 300 feet into the green. Yeah, just trying to spike something in there.
The one tricky thing I will say about this green is you can see a portion of the basket, but I think being able to see the entire basket would make it way easier depth perception-wise. So
Yes,
it kind of
yeah.
throws you off slightly in that regard, but you're going to find yourself inside circle one.
It definitely
For the most
feels
part.
farther
Yeah.
because you can't see the whole basket. Yeah, that's
It
a very,
does.
very good observation.
And it's at the point where if you land it 40 short, that hill kind of blocks you. So you kind of have to land it circle's edge short. Otherwise, that slope kind of eats you up, and Luke paces that one perfectly.
Well done, Luke. JohnE having a straddle on the comeback here for birdie.
I believe Luke threw the yarn there, which is a overstable putter, so kind of played a slower disc than the rest of the guys and rewarded with the tap in.
JohnE, great putt. Get his back nine going. He threw the disc extremely well on the front nine, but couldn't really get the putter going. So it's good to see him kind of right the ship here and get a good outside circle putt going.
Yeah, and for it to be on a straddle, it's got to be some confidence, kind of switching off of his regular style when he's in the open.
Gavin as well. These are good putts. Hole 10, one of the easier holes on the day. Most birdies. Yeah, these guys are making it look quite easy.
Yeah, you're not going to see much trouble from the top few cards on this hole, and probably see a few star frames too. And here's the one right here. That's the start we're looking for here on the back nine. You can see Gavin's got that tongue out. We know he's focused. Puts this one right in the center, nice and flat. Beautiful Spanish moss blowing in the background. Here we are on hole 11, the shortest hole on the course at 263 feet. Actually, there's one 3 feet shorter. I'm sorry for jumping the gun. But nice technical straight shot here. Most players are looking to land it about circle's edge short and slide it up to this beautiful little elevated basket. Like I said, the red mulch is always a great touch on your course if you're ever getting into any local course design or wanting to see how you can make your course look the best for that tournament. Little contrasting color things like red mulch go a long way.
Well, yeah, for sure. And just perfectly executed by Luke. Turning something over. There is OB left long of the green here, but it really only comes into play if you push something off to the left. There are trees kind of guarding it from getting out over there.
Yeah, there's enough stuff there. You don't see it happen too often, but definitely something that is in the realm of possibilities. Looks like Paul's taking putter here as well. I believe Luke threw one of his recos. I'm not sure if it was the X version or not. Gavin might have went with a mid-range kind of play on that lower slide up.
Paul getting caught up on the right side there.
And JohnE going to that compact run-up he likes when he's trying to be accurate on these shorter holes and just pulls that one a little late there. Let's see how aggressive he looks to get here. Just looking to chip it up, seems to be. And yeah, nice pace on that one. Showing some athleticism with that jump putt there from 132, you know?
Yeah. Old man still knows how to be active.
For sure.
Still a professional athlete.
No doubt. JohnE, I think, famously kind of said a year or two ago that I throw farther the older I get, and it's been impressive to watch him over time.
Gavin still having a look at it, but a far bid.
Yeah, this little green with the elevation can make it tricky the longer you are out. It's harder to commit, and you find yourself kind of holding back some of the regular pace you normally putt with.
Luke looking to gain a stroke on the whole card here. Gavin has this left for his par.
Yeah, this one's right in front of you. It did play as the second easiest hole on the course today, but I don't know. I feel like it's still a tricky enough gap to where you're not necessarily counting it in. You gotta throw a good, accurate shot.
For sure. Luke just perfectly played there. Great birdie. JohnE cleaning up his par.
And something interesting to note about this course is there's 3 stretches of 3 par 3s in a row. We are entering the second of them now. We just played the first of them. The first of that second set, I should say. And it's an interesting way to do the course design, but I kind of like it. It forces you to kind of switch up styles and, you know, switch up your mentality in different stretches of the course. And here we are on a tough par 3. Hole 12 is going to have that OB cart path on the left and just thick stuff on the right. You've got kind of a low ceiling late with those 2 big trees to beat. A lot of players are going to like a big forehand or just maybe a straight fairway if you're throwing the backhand shot. Definitely a hole that a left-handed player would love to have a nice flat to fade back in.
And Luke being no slouch on the sidearm. He's going to go to that sidearm game. Whoa, big flare skip. Sitting just outside circle 1. Kind of a good tree. He hit the limbs there late and dropped them down.
Yeah, hard to tell how close it would have been if he didn't hit the tree, but maybe a couple feet further if it skipped because it looked like that thing was moving.
Gavin electing to go the backhand low right skip route.
I have not seen anyone throw that line all week, and that is impressive to see him pull it off. I don't know if he missed his line late or if he just
perfectly
genius,
executed. Really, I think he, definitely probably going for that low skip right shot and ended up about pin high.
Maybe playing that stiletto again, playing nice and low shot, letting it catch edge, and Paul skipping it up, tapping the pole. It looked like, and yeah, that's gonna be a.
That's a great shot. I mean, distance being at 400 feet, flexing a sidearm is very impressive here. JohnE also going with that low right side gap. Yeah, it's very difficult. The ceiling there is probably only 10 feet, so to keep it low and get all the way to the green is very impressive.
At the most, I'd bet Luke Samson might hit his head if he Doesn't duck on some parts of that right side. Let's see here. No.
Luke pick up the birdie here just outside circle 1.
34
Ooh.
feet.
Lets one slip. Luke's been has had a lot of success lately on the putting green. Kind of uncharacteristic miss right now.
Yeah, there could have been a bit of a questionable headwind coming at him, so I don't know if that came into his mind at all, but definitely a putt he was looking to capitalize on.
Gavin with a great pickup there. This is a great birdie. Paul also getting the birdie here. Cool to see 2 different routes to get the same result.
Yeah, I think a lot of the par threes on this course show you kind of the creativity and like the strengths of the players, because you have options and you're able to attack it the way you want to and decide how close you want to try to put it.
JohnE has this left for his par.
Yeah, even on those short ones, kicking that leg up, making sure he gets the pace he needs to commit.
Really focusing on that follow through.
And JohnE finds himself under par here on the back 9. You can definitely still score a couple and put yourself in a solid position after a round that's been lackluster for the standards he has. Another look at this leaderboard. After 12 holes, we have Isaac Robinson right up there with Garrett Gerthy at 8 down, Ezra, his brother, and Andrew Fisher at 7. And then we got a lot of scores within a few of them.
I've had some messages of people asking like, "Hey, are you still trying to be the pro? Are you, or what is your goal for the next couple of years? Like, when are you going to win again?" Basically, that question. So, yeah, tapping that win in just felt like, there you go, to like all the friends and fans and everyone who supported me throughout the last couple of years.
What could we have here?
Fancy stuff here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Good quality, super stiff, pretty grippy too, I would say.
I think I would throw every disc in this plastic.
Hole 13, par 3, 382 feet. Very similar feel to the last hole, hole 12. OB on the left. Power sidearm is the preferred route here. But you might see people go roller or maybe even a backhand straight at it. Gavin's electing to go sidearm here.
Yeah, most of the two-way players are going to see play that forehand that Gavin played, and it's a matter of whether you want to hang it out real wide over the cart path or kind of play an inside flex shot. But I think most players that have the power are going to go kind of wide here.
This is great from Paul.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit more flip. Yeah, just a little early, but he has a circle 2 look just outside circle 1.
Luke looking to put that hyzer on this disc he's been throwing well all day and get that body contorted.
Way trusting it really good out here to the left, hoping for a big skip, which he gets.
Yeah, he gets the flare there, showing that baseball background, a little submarine pitch action there. And JohnE, will he be going with this roller or going straight shot? The straight shot, I got to say, is very difficult. The ceiling here is maybe 8.5 feet at the most at that low spot on the branch, and it opens up a little bit on the right, but you do not have much to work with there. JohnE going rare forehand, the first one we've seen of the round, but showing that he's been practicing in the backyard, getting it ready.
Good shot, good up and down, good scramble.
Gavin looking to just chip up, and you can tell with kind of his body language, he just looking to clean up his par there.
Yeah, don't do anything to get yourself in trouble or leave yourself with a longer par look than you need.
Yeah, in round 1, it's important not to be a hero, and
Wow.
Paul McBeth, though, says otherwise. But
right out of his hand. Talk about body English. Paul knew it right as soon as it left his hand.
Yeah, chest up, eyes up. You know, he's giving that one a chance.
Luke with a great sidearm here. Pin high. Ooh.
Ooh, you rarely see putts that far right catch in the left to right wind, but
He knows he got away with something a little there.
Luke letting out that sigh of relief.
Great birdie though, Luke. Great sidearm all the way into there. Really
Yeah.
showing how
Clean round for Luke, and all of a sudden his score's really getting up in there.
Great start to this back nine. 3 through 4. Gavin and JohnE just cleaning up their pars there.
Yeah, Gavin had a lot of action on the front, but he's cleaning it up here, and it's been good to see him keep his mental focus all day. Another look at Paul's putt. Classic high right. Gives it a chance the whole way. Here we are on hole 14. A par 5 with kind of a technical gap off the tee, which we don't really see on the rest of the course as much. You got this cart path on the right here, coming in out of bounds long, keeping you kind of checking your distance, playing that backhand, right-hand hyzer for most players. You're going to play like a fairway driver. Try not to be in the sand too far left because the footing gets tricky. Second shot, you're looking to land somewhere right around here and give yourself maybe 300 to the pin or less. This is a hole that if you get out of the gap on the tee, you really want to make sure you get up there for a putt at birdie. But the cart path comes in close enough here on the right side that it can tense you up on the approach shot, and being an exposed green, you got to focus up and still hit a good putt.
For sure. Paul up first.
Now this tee pad was really slick in practice, but I remember feeling it today. It had a ton of grip, so you can tell Paul's maybe a little bit confused, thinking that he might have to deal with some slickness, and then his foot just sticks on him.
Luke, on the other hand, absolutely striping this straight down the fairway. This is perfect.
Yeah, the way he played the inside of that gap on a pretty high speed shot just gives you about as much distance as you can bite off on this tee shot.
Yeah, you don't really need to bite off distance, but it doesn't hurt.
Yeah,
whatever
absolutely.
you feel comfortable hitting this gap with, that's the disc you need to be throwing. And Gavin also just putting it perfectly down the fairway. He's a little bit pinched on the left, but nothing too bad.
Yeah, he's going to have a wide open line, but his footing will be slightly compromised in that sand, so we'll see how it affects his shot or if it doesn't.
JohnE getting caught up on the corner there.
Yeah, that's
might have something.
definitely.
Oh,
Paul, yeah, not very happy about the tee pad there. Hopefully he addresses whatever his qualms are.
Paul throwing a spike hyzer out here.
Paul seems to always find a way to get aggressive, even in the tough situations, and he might even have a long chance at birdie here. Once again, let's see. Does he try to get super aggressive, or did he learn his lessons earlier in the course and just take his par here, knowing he has 4 more holes to try to score on?
JohnE pitching a hyzer on the corner. Yeah, just kind of get into the landing zone where you want to get off the tee. Gavin has this for his second shot.
Playing that stiletto again, making sure that he can get a little distance, but really ensuring he finishes left.
Yep.
And
inbounds. I'll have about 300 feet into the green from there.
yeah, he'll kind of get to pick his poison, whether he wants to throw overstable putter, mid, or fairway, and it's good to have options. Luke playing that same disc he did off the tee, I believe, Opto X recoil. Nice overstable distance driver, and yeah, he puts that one, no doubt, center cut.
This is JohnE's third shot. Flipping something up here, getting lots of distance. And needs to slow down. Doesn't want to go left. This is fine.
Yeah, he didn't really test that cart path, but threw something straight enough to where he didn't have to deal with the bush line on the left there.
530 into the green here.
You can just see he wants to, but his angle control keeps it from being able to truly flip up. He kind of wanted to maybe miss a little bit and
the
give
mistake.
himself a long look.
The mistake there is to definitely throw it left in bounds. Like if it doesn't flip up all the way, you're going to get a par at worst. It seems.
Yeah, Gavin spiking this one in nicely and gets a little backspin checkup. Gonna have a nice 22-footer there.
Yeah, great speed control going into the green.
Wow, Luke shows how far he got off the tee. He played a pretty conservative second shot and only has 233 into the green. A little standstill for him with the yarn. Little one-stepper from JohnE, something that he definitely
Ooh, right over the top
has
of it.
done a lot of in his career. Something kind of unique to his game. Not a lot of players do, I feel like.
Paul has this left for birdie.
Oh,
Just kind of a good bid. Good scrambles from Paul and JohnE, putting them in a good position to get par here.
yeah, Paul kind of a half-hearted bid there. He still has to focus up on this putt here.
Yeah, kind of circles edge.
Well, he's a champion. Puts it up high. There's a little bit of left to right cross from that position, and yeah, it's hard to tell out of the hand whether that was too high or not, but it dropped nicely.
Gave him a little scare.
Yeah. Not usually a
Make him-
trajectory you see out of Paul's putt, I feel like.
Yeah, make him think it might come back out, but a little nose down on Paul's putt doesn't give it that opportunity.
Yeah, like we said, JohnNe's putt works really well in that wind setup, so something he's going to find a pretty easy time committing to.
Gavin has this left for birdie.
Gavin, that's a putt he's really looking to grab. He had a solid hole leading up to that point, but like I said, it's an exposed green. There's nothing really to think about but the wind, and these type of open greens I feel like give players more trouble than putting in the woods where you really get a more intimate feel with the basket.
For sure. Gavin tapping out his par. Good birdie by Luke. Luke really dissected the hole well and didn't give himself a chance really to make any big mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, saw Gavin make a mistake but take a par this time, so definitely a good change of events from the front nine we saw for him. Like we said, Paul's putting together a really solid round here, and we are on hole 15, 275-foot island shot. We have this double mandatory as well, keeping you in check, making you throw a straight-ish line. And we have this one pine tree off the tee to the left side that kind of brings this low-hanging branch that just gets in your head a touch.
Luke opting to go putter backhand. Has to get down.
Yeah, I need some luck off that tree, and it's not going to happen. There's a bit of a right to left wind. Maybe a touch off the head that's kind of lifting the discs here if you don't get it really flat.
And Luke has been bogey free up to this point, so he'll have to make a good putt to keep that going. Paul, just perfectly executed.
Paul looking like he played a down-tempo mid-range there, just hitting it flat, letting it kind of stay up in the air. That just shows how much touch and just versatility he has in his game. This is low out of Gavin's hand. He needs some action.
Oh my goodness. A little hill right there in front of that tree. Just skipped right over.
You almost can't even beg for that good of a reaction.
Wow.
Gavin is probably smiling big back there. Oh.
JohnE electing to go this turnover route just doesn't fully get the turn out of it.
I would have liked to see that executed because I haven't even thought of or seen anyone think of that. So JohnE, obviously familiar with this course and something he's executed before and felt confident in enough. Okay, I thought this drop zone putt was around 75, but it's 83. It definitely one of those ranges that, it's definitely a little out of most people's like even guaranteed medal on every putt. So it's enough to make you think about it.
Good bid from JohnE. Good bid from Luke.
Yeah, surprisingly, you'd think a hole at 275 feet on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, even at a Silver Series, would play well under par, but this one playing almost a third of a stroke over par today, just pretty much a 2 or a 4 hole, and sometimes a little bit worse if you really mess it up.
Yeah. We had a little bit of swirling winds out there, so maybe that got into the players' heads, and yeah, sometimes it might be routine during practice, but you get into that tournament mindset and gaps feel a little bit smaller and islands feel a little bit smaller.
Yeah, like we said, we have had the hurricane in the area, so we're still kind of dealing with the tail end of that, and the wind is definitely swirling on the property. You sometimes read it one way, and 30 seconds later, it's kind of channeling down a different wind, and I feel like a golf course property like this, it kind of creates some wind tunnels with the trees and changes the flow of the air a little bit sometimes.
Good birdies by Luke and Paul. Good birdies by Paul and Gavin there.
Yeah, Gavin got that fortunate action, and we see Paul throwing just a very touchy fan grip buzz shot, and just that touch of Anheuser, but he plays the faster disc, and the wind keeps it up for him. Here we have a look at the leaderboard. 6 players within 1 stroke of the lead right now. Isaac Robinson at the top of the list. And here we are on a hole that he most likely is feasting on. 240 feet. I actually ranged it at 260, so maybe that could be getting in some players' heads here. This gap is tricky when you're coming off a back nine that has a lot of open shots. I think it's definitely one that's playing harder than you'd think it would, maybe if it plays in a different portion of the course. But yeah, something about it makes it feel like you really have to get it, and I think that also makes it play a little harder as well.
Paul up first.
Oh my
misses
gosh.
it by an inch. Oh, turning into the gap. Good shot by Paul.
Yeah, I was about to bet that thing was going to be parked, and it just off by inches, and sometimes that's worse than being off by a few feet on a hole like this.
Hopefully he kicked to a scramble, hopefully he kicked to a better spot. Be able to get up and down from there.
And like you
And
said,
Gavin.
Gavin misses by a few feet and just drifts through that stuff and finds himself edge of circle for a look at birdie. Luke contests with that same tree Paul does. Doesn't quite have as violent of a kick, but it's going to be a long shot for birdie for him. JohnE back to that compact run up.
And stripes it.
Yeah, cool die on that disc. Nice little choppy flight, and he
Fades
puts
a little bit to
himself-
the left, but inside circle one. So I'll have a look.
Yeah, he'll have those palm fronds to deal with, and let's see how he's able to manage that.
Luke just pitching it up there for par.
Yeah, he has to kind of throw a hyzer back into that main gap and not really a super runnable putt from there. He just willing to take his par and move on.
Paul kicked to a favorable spot. Just still got a fairway hit there.
Yeah, maybe Paul took a secondary kick back into the left there because we thought his disc was off right, but really gave that putt a good bid.
Gavin from 50 feet. Dead center. Great putt, Gavin.
Yeah, way to get that hand up there and give the putter the height. Gavin knows if he had a good start, he probably would be shredding right now, but way to buckle down on that back and get it going, man.
Yeah, just to stay in it and keep fighting. And JohnE, great putt there.
Yeah, not as much stuff in the way there as we might have assumed for JohnE, but he's been making good on those straddles today.
Paul has this left for par.
Yeah, definitely one he wants to grab and probably a little upset with himself, but he knows he still has two more opportunities and playing a solid round so far.
Luke also a little upset that he's missing out on one of the shorter holes on the course, but didn't take any big numbers and moving on to hole 17.
Gavin getting that hand up nice and high. Pretty much putting it where he holds it before the putt, so kind of cool to see that.
Hole 17, par 3, 426 feet. One of the harder par 3s on the course. It's a island green, kind of. You can... restart. Hole 17, par 3, 426 feet. Huge hyzer carry into the green here. Players are looking to throw kind of a straighter disc on a lot of hyzer, getting it to stand up and carry into the circle one. Gavin is up first here, 64 miles an hour, super high, letting that... We kind of had like a right to left headwind. Oh, kind of an unfortunate...
Tough reaction there. Getting to that
Yeah.
tree usually gives you a putt edge of circle, but Gavin's going to have to deal with another 50-ish footer.
JohnE up next.
Ooh, and JohnE kind of using the corner of that tee pad. I don't know whether he got that foot off the ground, but I don't think anybody on the card called it, so kind of getting away with a little savvy veteran action and puts himself circle
In position
one.
to
That's
score for sure, yeah.
impressive to get there.
Paul
Oh.
going for a lower route here.
Looks like he had a good, healthy hyzer on it, and
Wow, going long of the green and still getting pretty far left.
yeah, all week in practice we had this left-right wind that made this hole nearly unreachable. Today we have a headwind, which is actually a great wind for this hole, making it more attackable because the discs are lifting as they fly, helping them get a little further left than you typically would be able to get without that wind. And Luke,
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, he knows he did it right. Great
know.
shot, Luke.
yeah, this hole feels really good to get. And like I said, it was pretty much inaccessible during practice, so For a lot of players, this is the first time you've seen circle 1 on this hole, and it feels good for sure. Just off the mark from Gavin there, and
Yeah, unfortunate reaction off that tree, but good run still from Gavin. Ooh, Paul leaving it low.
yeah, the tailwind drops it, and he thought he had it read right, but just not quite. Another straddle from JohnE. He has to avoid this tree, and looks like, I don't know if he hit the tree or if it just kind of wobbled out of his hand, but yeah, not quite the release he was looking for. Luke making sure to take his time. This is an important one to grab, and
This is a great pickup.
yeah, absolutely. And
One of the
he's-
harder par 3s on the course, and Luke getting a stroke on the whole card, coming down into the stretch. Very, very key putt there.
JohnE with the little turbo tap in. If you don't know anything about JohnE, he's also a dangerous turbo putter. He's busted out here and there, and I think learning to play in Florida and dealing with some of these little palm fronds all over the place, you kind of need to get creative here and there. Paul just tapping in with his driver. Knows that this wind was setting up well for him getting hole 17 today, but not quite able to connect. Luke, very unique putting style, using those long levers to push the disc up into the basket. And here we are on hole 18. Tough par 5 to finish. We have a set of mandatories that are going to come into play off the tee. We can see the second of them there on the right. You really want to push your drive somewhere a little bit past it, and most likely off to the left. The best drives are up around these 2 trees, maybe even in this sand bunker. The long rollers that some players might attempt could end up on this out of bounds golf green, but most likely not going to happen. And then coming up here, we have another mandatory that if you miss, you have to go to this drop zone, which my partner here, Kevin Kiefer, actually threw in his
Yeah.
4th shot, 3rd technical throw with a penalty
Yeah.
for the birdie 4. Walk us through that one here.
Kind of a bad shot, to be honest. It was going to go OB long, but fortunate enough for the basket to get in the way and save a good round and, yeah, get the birdie here on 18. These guys are just congratulating each other to getting to this point and, yeah, trying to finish strong.
Yeah, another hole where you'll see some options. You'll see the longer forehand players taking that forehand. I think the backhand roller plays really well here. You can also play kind of a straight turning backhand, but I feel like the roller is really the most advantageous play if you can execute it here. Ooh, and he holds on to this a bit inside. But he gets it past.
around the Mando, so he'll be happy with that. We'll probably have a side arm into the green from there.
Yeah,
Or, I'm
he's
sorry,
gonna
side
be-
arm into the landing zone from there.
Yeah, he's going to pinch himself to where it's really hard to gauge that distance right. Most likely going to have to push the back side, the left side of that second fairway. But let's see if he can manage a birdie from there or not. JohnE playing that turnover shot I was talking about. A little short of maybe where he'd ideally want to be, but still able to birdie from there.
Paul likes to go backhand roller here, 71 miles an hour.
Yeah, Paul playing kind of medium stability, forcing it over, lands it in a great spot. That's, yeah, pretty stock roller spot right there, and he's going to have really good opportunity to go about 300 or so on a forehand to beat that corner, and then have maybe a backhand putter or forehand into the green. JohnE testing that right side, and
Oh, hits the last tree. If he misses that tree, he lands perfectly in the landing zone, but he still might have like a big turnover from there to try to get onto that green.
oh, Luke playing super wide. This one's fading faster than maybe expected, and he's going to have probably another forehand from there. He's on the left side and definitely short of where he was expecting to get from that position.
Yeah, Gavin, not terrible shot. Kind of unfortunate he landed on a palm from. Probably going to have to go from a knee from there or maybe straddle way out. But he'll have an opportunity to still get up and down from there.
And Paul throws a terrible shot from what he's hoping to do, and
Kind of in a perfect position. Maybe that
Very
tree on the right there just was in his head or maybe in his way and had to go to maybe force a backhand in there. But
Luke, compact little swing, beats the stuff and still has the speed
Wow.
to get to circle's edge. Wow,
that's a great shot. Wow.
absolutely.
Well done. Well executed. have a look to finish out his round with a birdie.
Great shot. A little bit of fortune. Paul going with one of his Lunas here. A little turnover shot into the green and out of his hand. He's probably thinking that's right up there inside the circle, but that sticky grass kept him out, and he might be a little disappointed to get up there and see that he's not, in fact, on that Circle 1 dance floor.
JohnE going big turnover here. Oh, just short. It looked very pinched from there.
Yeah, he had to really play it high and test those trees on the left to have a chance there. And here we see Gavin electing, like he said, to go from a knee to deal with that palm. And now he's got a putt from just inside the bunker there.
Yeah, very unfortunate to just happen to land on that one palm from. Ooh.
JohnE, a little spinner for us, trying to give himself one more little firework, but should be able to finish out with a 1 under par round. And here we have Gavin, one last chance at birdie. Oof, and never dropped in that right to left win.
Here's Paul's putt for birdie from just outside Circle 1.
Paul in front of the gallery, just
Leaves it
not
left.
quite. That was so close to sticking, just a little flatter in his hand for a 1/10 of a second longer, and that's hearted. Luke from a similar distance. And
Ooh. To get a stroke on Paul going into the round 2, left it short, but still a good round. Still a very solid showing for round 1.
yeah, Luke's going to be a little ticked off to miss that island and take his 1 bogey of the round on a relatively simple hole, but, you know, that hole's tricky enough for how short it is. And
Still a good round. Yeah, it's put together a very solid score. Him and Paul both tied at 8. Gavin at 5, and JohnE with the 1 down.
Luke getting a little love from the fans, and solid conditions today, a little gusty. We see some pretty solid scores from our feature card here. JohnE never quite got it going off the green, and when he did, he didn't quite have it going off the tee. He's looking to clean that up tomorrow. Gavin up and down. Here we see Isaac Robinson in the lead by 1 with a number of guys, 4 of them in fact, stacked up right behind him. Then we got Garrett Girthy, Kevin Kiefer, myself, Gavin Rathbun, rounding out some of that top 10. Thanks for joining me, Kevin. It's been a blast, and we appreciate all you guys for watching.
Stay tuned for tomorrow's round 2.